Hey guys, today I'm going to show you a K9 Cryrstron combo as well as a deck profile for it. So this is going to be Yokel plus any level 5. You're going to start off by going Yokel, summon itself, and the other level 5 from the hand. Then you're going to go Yokel effect, add Lantern. You can add a Lantern or Zuna. It kind of depends on the rest of your hand and what you want to play around. Like there's some small things, like if you add a Zuna, then they could like hold like their imperm, and like it is weird. But regardless, I add Lantern here. Ripper effect. Now we add the Azuna, so now you have like both pieces. You're gonna go Lantern, you're gonna summon itself and the Yokel from the graveyard. Lantern effect, I'm gonna add a case for K9. And we can add a case for K9, actually add another Azuna, or you add a Yokel, it kinda just depends. You're gonna go River Stormer. If you don't know what River Stormer does, you can basically add or send to the graveyard an Earth Machine monster from your deck. So we're gonna add Scrap Recycler. And Scrap Recycler is basically a foolish burial for machines. So you're gonna normal summon Scrap Recycler and send like your Soul Thesnir. And we're gonna make the link 1 Clockwork Knight. And Clockwork Knight says you can tribute a machine, the special summon machine from your graveyard with 1,000 or less attack. Scrap Recycler has 900 attack, and it's not once per turn. So you can go in Recycler to send Thivestern from your deck to the graveyard. Thivestern is gonna add Smiger. Here we're just gonna make SP, because we're not locked or anything. Soul Thesnir, pitch the Smiger, summon itself, pop the case of K9, the case for K9 set the Force Liberation. Smiger banish itself to add Inclusion. Inclusion adds Sulfador, and then we're gonna go with Sulfador, pop the Soul Thesnir. And this is not the only way to sequence it, there are multiple different ways. Then you're gonna trigger Sulfador, you're gonna trigger Soul Thesnir. So Thesnir is going to summon the Tristalos, Sulfur is going to send another Inclusion, and a Cluster. Cluster is the trap card. We're going to make Escaletus effect. We can add back the trap from the graveyard. Then we can banish Tristalos from the graveyard, which lets us destroy a Synchro to summon two guys from our deck. We're going to summon a Sulfur and a Soul Thesnir. Escaletus effect lets us summon back a Cryrstron when it's destroyed, so we're going to summon Tristalos. Then we're going to overlay for Cyber Dragon Nova, and then we're going to overlay for Cyber Dragon Infinity. Now here you have a couple options. Like you could just like pass here. Personally, I like I think hard making Dawn Drax to turn 1 is just like the best, because there are a lot of spells and traps that people are going to start off with. Like for example, you're playing against like Yummy. I want to be able to negate Obedience School. You know, I don't want to have to like Infinity it. Also versus Vanquish, they don't play that many like spells, so like you really want to be able to start your turn off by like negating it, and I don't want to have to waste Infinity on the spell. So that's why I think hard making Dawn Jax to turn 1 is really good. Obviously it just loses some more cards. But yeah, you're gonna go Inclusion, summon the Soul Thesnir, and then you're gonna hard make Dawn Dragster. Also, you can also, instead of getting the second Azuna, you can also sacrifice the second Azuna to have like another like a Cryrstron card in the hand. It's like a Smiger, Dice, or whatever. So you could argue that could be like better follow up. It kind of just depends on like what you want. Personally, I just want to showcase this line particularly. But yeah, the M board is going to be Ripper. So Ripper obviously is a negate for monster effect in hand or graveyard. Force release, so it's going to pop a card and let you summon the werewolf, which can then banish a card from the hand. SP, Little Knight, obviously really good. Cyber Dragon Infinity. Infinity's Omni negate. Dawn Draxter, Spell and Trap negate. Cluster says you can target a face-up card in the field, or you can target 2 if you control a Cryrstron Synchro. It lets you basically pop a card on the field, which is really nice. And then Azuna is also going to be able to summon itself, send the Lupus. The Lupus is going to be able to summon itself. We can make a rank 5, either like a Valon or a Nash Knight. And yeah, I think it's pretty chill. And like I said, you can arguably change for like you can get better Cryrstron follow-up instead of if you sacrifice second Azuna. But your follow-up, you have like Sulfador, like popping the Inclusion, and Soul Thesnir, which isn't live yet, but it will be after you Sulfador. And then like your cluster is probably gonna put back like a Thivestern or whatever. But yeah, this is it for the 1-card combo. Well, I guess it's 2-card combo, my bad. Moving on to the, oh my god, I swear to god. Moving on to the deck list, this is the deck list so far. So I guess to start off, so for the K9 cards, I'm playing 3 Yokel, 3 Azuna. I have 2 Chaotic Elements, 2 Case of K9, 1 Force Relief, and 1 Lupus, and 1 Lantern. So I started off by playing 3 and 3, but the issue is that it's just so, you you need space for non-engine. If you play 3-3, like the deck space is super tight. So I just wanted to make more space for non-engine. But the reason I'm playing these cards is that I want to open a 5. Like I want in this deck, unlike a Vanquish Soul, like just getting to like a rank 5 is like full combo. So I really wanted to play cards that could like search like the 5s, and I thought these were better than the extraneous like Crystron cards, like more Smiger. That's why I'm playing that. Now you might be wondering, why am I playing 2 Case of K9, 2 chaotic elements? I'm not gonna lie, this is like low-key like vibes. Well, at first I was playing like 3-2 because I was like, oh, Case of K9 is slightly worse to open than chaotic elements. Now I'm not so sure. It also kind of depends like what decks you're expecting to play against. Like if you're expecting a ton of Rival, then chaotic element does gain a lot of value. So there's that, because you can like out Detonator obviously. Technically this deck can out Detonator with like Engine, but I mean, it's like immediately outing the Detonator is really nice. Case of K9 has the advantage over chaotic elements that you can search Azuna with it, because this one only searches the light or dark Pyro or Aqua, so it only searches the Yokel, it only searches the Lantern, so it cannot search Azuna. So sometimes like you definitely want to search Azuna. Post the next set that comes out next month, this card Noroi, I pronounced that wrong. Basically, Case of K9 becomes much better than chaotic elements because you can search this guy, and this guy is like 1 card full combo, K9 combo. So definitely post like next set, Case of K9 is much better than chaotic elements. But for now, I think they're pretty close. For the Crystron part, I'm playing 3 Inclusion, 3 Sulfador, 2 Soul Fafnir. So I know a lot of people play like 3 Soul Fafnir, 2 Sulfador, but like in pure Crystron. But this is a deck that's built around like the 2-card combo of Yokel plus a 5, and Yokel plus Sulfador is infinitely better than Yokel plus Soul Fafnir. So that's why I'm like building my deck around that. So I have the ways to get to it. I'm playing 2 Soul Fafnir though. The reason for 2 is just for like, I felt like you need 5 level 5 names for your deck to like be okay in like a grind game and just like for some lines. So that's why I'm playing 2 and not like 1 or 3. I'm not playing 3 because I don't really want to open it, because Soul Fafnir is good when it's paired with another Crystron card, but I'm playing less Crystron cards, right? Like I'm not even playing 3 Smigers, so I think the card does lose value, but I still want a second like 5 level 5 names. 1 Smiger. This card is not obviously like this card is 1-card combo, but in like the pure Crystron deck. But I'm playing 1 because you only need 1, and it's kind of like your worst like starter. You don't really want to start with it. One of the advantages of this deck over the pure Crystron deck is that it makes the deck's better versus cards that the pure Crystron deck is weak against, like for example Artifact Lancia. So being able to only play 1 Smiger makes your deck much better versus Lancia. You can do so much under it, and it's not really like not like Lancia was like SDK against pure Crystron. Obviously it's not, but you know, it was pretty playable, definitely a playable card, and you make the card kind of like bad now. 1 Thivestern. I have experimented without Thivestern because Ness was on my butt about it. And I saw like a bunch of OC lists weren't playing Thivestern. I think you can make it, the deck can function without Thivestern at a super basic level, but I think you really want it. It makes some lines better. You have to do weird sends with Sulfador if you don't play Thivestern, so that you play like harder into like DD Crow in some spots. Your grind game is better when you play Thivestern. A lot of things are just better with Thivestern in the deck, so I think Thivestern is correct. It makes all the lines feel better. Thivestern I think is correct, but I understand it is a brick. It's not like the worst brick in the deck, but it certainly is a brick, so I realize that. 1 Tristalos. I used to be on 2 Tristalos because I was like, oh, Tristalos plus like Yokel level 5 is like not bad, but I think it's just not great to open. Generally not. It's either the second Tristalos or the second Soul Fafnir, and I'm going with the second Soul Fafnir. Yeah. Also, generally, I try not to use like Tristalos effect summon from deck when I'm like on my end board. I try to hard make Dawn Dragster. But yeah, there's that. Moving on, I do have the Cluster. I think this card is like one of the better parts of the Crystron engine. Be able to get to this like super easily, especially if you get like Fluid or something like that. Cluster is pretty solid. As Disruption, it's not like SDK, but I mean it's not bad, and it's like hard for some decks to remove. So yeah, my Yummy for example. Yeah, so then for the non-engine, I guess just Ash, Fula, Perulia, triple drop with double Imperm. Imperm can maybe be something else. I'm not entirely sure. So it's like what 9, 12, 14, and then 17 with the Azuna, which is like not terrible. But yeah, the Imperm can maybe be something else. I'm still experimenting with other options. Moving on to the extra deck, 1 Escaletus, 1 Dawn Draxer. You can maybe play 2 Escaletus. extra space is just really tight. I'm not gonna lie. Then we have Clockwork Knight. This is the Link one, obviously. SP, Nova, Infinity, Ripper, Werewolf, River Stormer, Valon, Paradise Smasher, Chronomally, V-Mana. So V-Mana is like a rank 5 light monster. So it's a light, so keep in mind you can't make it when you use like Yokel or like Lantern. It says once per turn you can target one face-up monster on the field and one XYZ or Chronomally in the graveyard. That monster in the field gains half the attack of that monster in the graveyard, then attach that monster from the graveyard to this card's material. So it can let you get another material under it for like Zeus plays. And also, it says once per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can attach 2 materials, negate the activation. So it's not bad disruption, but I'm mainly just playing it because I wanted something else to make when I was locked into machines. Also, like, being able to go into like a Zeus on a turn 3 is like not bad. Like Chronomally and Zeus, because they're both machines, so I think it's okay. But it could definitely be like something else. And then like Nash Knight and like a Nash Knight target I have in my extra deck. Before I was playing like 2 Nash Knight targets, but extra deck space is just like so tight. Like I still kind of want to play like a bunch of other cards. But yeah, so this is how the deck list is looking right now. There are definitely like ways you can like. This could probably maybe be improved. I'm not gonna say maybe. Probably can definitely be improved. Because I haven't tested this deck as much as I have the other decks. I just wanted to show you guys my approach to it right now. To go over some of these quote-unquote side deck options, they're not really side deck options, but other options. Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight is really cool in this deck because if you don't know what Clockwork Knight does, it says all face-up monsters in the field become machines. So this is a floodgate against specifically Yummy, because the Yummy Link 1 Yummy Snatchy requires a level 4 or lower light beast. So this basically says they can't make the Snatchy. And it's playable against other decks like Malice, for instance. So this card is really cool. So the way you search it is with the Clockwork Knight, because if it's Link Summon, you can send a face-up continuous spell to the graveyard to add it from your deck to your hand, add this spell. So you can get this more consistently now because of the case of for K9 being another continuous spell you can send, which is really cool. I would probably side it though. I probably wouldn't main it, but it's like an option. Rivalry of the Warlords is a deck. Like, this deck can technically like kind of mess around with playing some of the floodgates, like Tikaboo and Rivalry. Rivalry also is like a combo with the Clockwork Knight if you have them together, but I wouldn't side Rivalry in matchups where, like, you know, I just wouldn't side them in together unless Rivalry is good versus the deck standalone. Spell Canceller is a card you can utilize in this deck. You can send it off Scrap Recycler and you can revive it with the Imperial Princess. So it's like a cool floodgate thing you can do. I think it's a little bit win more probably, like, but it's certainly an option. Mega Fleet Dragon. This is something to keep in mind if you're playing the deck. If like you're playing the deck in your locals, right? In 1 week, somebody might be like, "I'm tired of playing against K9 Cryrstron. I'm gonna play Mega Fleet in my extra deck," because you can fuse with Infinity and other stuff, or like the what's it called, like Fortress. They have machines. But not Fortress, sorry. Well, Fortress if they play Cyber Dragon, but they can't. They would need like other stuff. Mega Fleet's the one that where it's like any Cyber Dragon monster. Fortress requires them to play Cyber Dragon specifically, which they might do, but you have more counters to that. But sometimes you might have to like play around this, by like Infinity sucking up a monster in your EMZ or something like that. But it should be pretty chill. Then Regulus is another option. You can search it with the River Stormer. It takes any Earth Machine. You can also search it with Klee Fort Genius, because when two monsters are summoned at the same time, special summoned to the Klee zones, you can add a level 5 or higher machine monster. So you can add that. The way you would trigger this is by Tristalos, or I guess technically like Yokel later. But yeah. Also, another cool thing you can do with this deck is you can artifact Mjolnir lock. So if you don't know, Mjolnir has an effect that says if this card is special summoned, if this card is special summoned during the opponent's turn, you can target an artifact monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters to the end of the next turn. So the way the card is worded, it's mandatory. So it's going to activate, and even if you don't have an artifact in your graveyard, this other effect is still going to apply because it's not like a Zen. So you summon this to your opponent's field because this rank 5 can summon to either player's field, and this will trigger for your opponent, and they'll be locked out of like summoning. So it's pretty cute. I don't really like playing a brick for it, especially in a deck like this, which is already playing a lot of bricky, a lot of dependent cards. But it's definitely an option, and it's like people, especially in the TCG, they love stuff like this. So I would definitely expect some people to be playing it. But anywho, that's it for my K9 Cryrstron deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and then comment down below any changes you might make personally, because like I said, I'm not 100% sure about this like list. I mean, it's not like I'm purposely uploading like a bad list or anything. Like I've played around with the deck and I spent time on it, but like I spent less time on it than like Yummy and Vanquish Soul, you know, and Draco Tail, for example. So like I can't spend like 24/7 every deck. But yeah, take care.